And so the Astros are rolling right now. They've jumped back to the top of the AL West in the midst of a 10-game winning streak. I told you something Dusty Baker's never done, never been part of a winning streak that was 12 games. Has an opportunity to tie as a manager his longest winning streak of 11 games if they win tonight. Back inside Studio 3 with Alex and Joel. I'm Fran. And it's funny, Joel, like I think, before the season started, there was a lot of conversation about the Angels and Mike Trout, if we can get him back in the postseason for the first time since 2014. The Mariners, I mean, they had a big rush at the end of last year, and a lot of talk about those two teams in the AL West, and no one really wanted to talk about the Astros. But here we are again. I mean, the Astros, like, you guys don't have to talk about us. We'll just go out there and continue to play good baseball.
There's two ways to look at the cheating scandal with the sign stealing. One is that everyone wants them to be done already. On the other hand, the way they've played since 2018 suggests that they were pretty darn good stealing signs or not stealing signs. They've stayed consistently, this year people are using PitchCom a lot, so I'm assuming that people aren't stealing signs, and here they are an elite team again. And for me, it's just look at their production from their farm system. They had 75 original signs last year. First pro contract was with them, 75. That was 13 more than any other team. It's 52 this year. It's more than any team 5 weeks into the season. Look at how their Latin program has completely transformed what was a championship rotation in 2015. You got Garcia, you got Framber Valdez, you got Luis Garcia. Out of the bullpen, you got Brian Abreu and Christian Javier. They've done a great job of player procurement into their system to stay elite.
And when you got guys like Yordan Alvarez, who's also a part of that as well, and then Kyle Tucker. And Tucker's really started to come on the last couple of years here. And you made a point to me yesterday. You said when it's one thing for the media to talk about a player, but when guys around the league are talking about a peer, then you know he's legit.
Yeah, not just guys around the league, but guys on his team. I mean, I remember an interview like we did with Bregman last year in the playoffs. Just the way he would talk about Tucker and his approach to every single day, his work ethic. I mean, he believes he's going to be one of the best hitters in the game. And, when you have your own teammates talking about you in that aspect, I mean, that goes a long way, and that just shows, you're on the right track.
Jeremy Pena, I mean, he banged up yesterday, but he did get 3 hits before he left. I don't think he's playing tonight here. But one of the reasons why I think, obviously, that they were okay with Carlos Correa not only leaving, but then not diving in, Joel, to grab one of these other incredible shortstops that were available through free agency is because they knew what they had in Pena.
Yeah, another member of the farm system, right? A draft pick. We don't give out awards 5 weeks into the season, but he's the American League Rookie of the Year. If we do, there are a lot of top prospects really struggling. Witt Jr., Tarkelson, who really have gotten off badly this year. This kid has done terrific, especially defensively. Remember, Carlos Correa was state-of-the-art defense for them last year. They haven't lost a beat with Pena. His bat seems to be coming more and more as the year is going along here. He's injured a little bit right now. We'll see how long he's out. But, I mean, when you move seamlessly from Carlos Correa to somebody else, it means you're doing a great job of player development.
And also, too, in looking in the situations where he's been successful, too, he's come up big for them early in this season with some clutch home runs, clutch hits, and clutch.
Had a walk-off
hits, walk-off homers. So, I mean, the moment isn't too big for him either. And I mean, it looks like he feels comfortable and has just kind of stepped into that role at shortstop there and is doing a fantastic job.
And Joel, look, we've talked about it. Everyone knows how I feel about Dusty Baker. Just take a look here at the notable homegrown position players. And on that list, I mean, Altuve, Bregman, Pena, Tucker, these guys are all, doing a tremendous job.
Big contributors,
too, with Valdez, Garcia, Javier, and Urquidy. But at the top is a manager, Dusty Baker here. And look, I mean, it's interesting to see kind of, what's old again become new. Dusty in Houston last couple of years, Buck in New York, Bob Melvin goes from Oakland to San Diego. But this guy here, I mean, he won 95 of the 97 games with the Nationals in 2 years. They let him go. Made the postseason both times. They let him go. Then he was watching his son Darren play at the Cal. I mean, he was done. I mean, he was out of the game, hoping for one more shot. And it took a sign-stealing scandal and a job that was basically that nobody really wanted to touch for Dusty to get another shot because everybody knew that Dusty was the perfect fit in Houston to make that work.
Perfect man, perfect place, perfect time to help calm down what felt like an impossible situation. If you were there the first day the clubhouse opened again, after that, there was a lot of tension around that team. There was like, are they going to be able to have the confidence moving forward? Well, this is human confidence, right? That's what Dusty Baker brings to an organization. You know, I think he's a Hall of Famer already because I believe in the baseball life. He was an above-average player. Not great, but above average. And he's been an outstanding manager. I know people will say, where's the championship? I think in a lot of ways, he's our Andy Reid. Right? Andy Reid was good all those years, and then he finally won with the Chiefs, and now we think of him differently. I don't think he became a better coach just because he won that Super Bowl. Right? But if Dusty would have finished it off and won the World Series last year, you know, they got there, or he wins another World Series, I think it's a cakewalk into the Hall of Fame.
What were your thoughts on Dusty, Alex?
Well, I mean, I think when you have a manager like that comes into the clubhouse, I mean, he just commands respect. I mean, from what he's been able to accomplish over the course of his career as a manager.
He had a little of that with Jim Leyland, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, you know where you stand. You know where the buck stops with those guys. And so, you know, there's no gray area in that clubhouse there. So, like, that right there, it says in itself there that, you know, there's a presence there. And usually a lot of times the club kind of takes the personality of the manager and follows that lead. And when you have a guy like that, you know, it takes a lot of pressure off the rest of the players, and, you know, to not only just, you know, hold each other accountable, but they have a guy that they can follow and take the lead from.